Hello to everyone in TV land. This is Focus on Liberia online television, and you are listening to the Focus on Liberia Daily News with Gwendolyn Dorado. I bring you the headlines. President Boakai signs executive order to establish War and Economic Crimes Court. Ministry of Finance submits FY 2023 financial statement for audit. GOL and EU break grounds today for 333 kV electricity distribution networks. Dr. Yakpawelo returns EPA to Namasi, and President Boakai concerned over high maternal and newborn mortality rates in Liberia. Those were the headlines. Now the news in details. On the move to prosecute major actors in Liberia's 14 years of civil unrest has received a huge boost as President Joseph Boakai on Thursday signed Executive Order number 131 to establish the Office of a War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. President Boakai's move comes after both houses of the Representatives and Senate adopted a resolution to establish the court more than 2 decades after the end of the war. He said the direct representation of the Liberian people have spoken by their votes on the passage of the resolution to establish the court, and that his part is to act now. The United States Embassy near Monrovia and the European Union member states weighed in on President Boakai signing the executive order. The charge d'affaires Catherine Rodriguez praised President Boakai on what she termed as a historic and courageous step to bring justice and accountability for the atrocities committed during the Liberian civil wars. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning recently submitted the government's annual consolidated financial statement for the fiscal year 2023. The submission made to the Office of the Auditor General and the 55th Legislature of Liberia is in accordance with Section 1.1 of the PFM regulations. Honorable Elwood T. Nate, commenting on the submission, highlighted its compliance with the PFM laws and associated regulations. He pointed out the Public Financial Management Act, Part 7, Section 49.1, mandates the Comptroller and Accountant General to prepare the unaudited final account of the nation's budget and submit it to the Auditor General no later than 4 months after the end of the fiscal year. The timely submission and publication of the government's annual consolidated financial statement serve as the basis for the Auditor General to conduct the FY 2023 audit. The audit will express an opinion on the accountability and transparency in managing public funds. The government of Liberia and the European Union broke grounds for construction of 2 distinct 33 kV electricity distribution networks, a significant milestone in Liberia energy development. According to a press release, the ceremony to be held in Grand-Bassa County signifies access to Buchanan, Barclayville, and Greenville cities. Founded by the European Union's Rural Electrification Program, with special focus on the Southeast, aim to deliver reliable, affordable electricity to underserved communities. Ambassador Nona Dupre of the European Union delegation emphasized the significance of the networks as part of the EU's commitment to assisting the Liberian government in providing reliable, accessible, and available electricity to its citizens. Also, on behalf of the Liberian government, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning emphasized the profound social, economic, and development benefits the rural electrification projects will bring to Liberia's southeastern region. The release indicates the Rural Renewable Energy Agency has secured 2 operations or maintenance companies to manage to manage the projects immediately after completion. Dr. Emmanuel Ure Yakbawolo, the acting executive director and CEO of the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia, has welcomed the Supreme Court's decision on the rate of prohibition to resolve the issue of the tenure position with Professor Wilson K. Tape, former acting executive director and CEO of the government of Liberia. Addressing journalists at the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism on Thursday, May 2nd, Dr. Yakbawolo expressed his appreciation to President Boakai, the Ministry of Justice, Councillor Lami Bakoi, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, the EPA staff and the public for their support during the legal process. He said immediately after the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court, he resumed work and that the EPA has turned to normalcy. He thanked the Deputy Acting Director who was in control in his absence. On Friday, May 3rd, the Council will officially launch its 100-day deliverables in Bentel, Mansurado County. The program will bring together the county leadership, international organizations, and other relevant stakeholders. President Joseph Boakai has expressed sadness over the alarming rates of maternal newborn mortalities in Liberia and said is the result of a society that has not been sensitive to the plight of its citizens. The president made the assertions during a meeting with the H6 Partnership Delegation of the United Nations at the Executive Mansion on Thursday. The UNH6 Partnership comprised of agencies within the UN family, including UNICEF, WHO, UNFPA, UN Women, UNAIDS, and the World Bank. During the meeting, Dr. Anshu Banerjee, Director of Department of Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent and Aging at the World Health Organization in Geneva, on behalf of the team presented statistics and termed the situation as a national public health emergency and outlined a series of recommendations. In response, acknowledged the grave situation and assured the delegation of his administration's commitment to addressing the situation. Meanwhile, the H6 scoping mission to Liberia aimed at building on past achievements, addressing unfinished agenda, and integrating new strategies for improving health outcomes along the SRM-NCHA continuum began on April 22nd and is expected to end today. That does it for the Focus on Liberia Daily News. I bring you a recap of the headlines. President Boakai signs executive order to establish War and Economic Crimes Court. Ministry of Finance submits FY 2023 financial statement for audit. GOL and EU break grounds today for 333 kV electricity distribution networks. Dr. Yakbawolo returns EPA to normalcy, and President Boakai concerned over high maternal and newborn mortality rates in Liberia. On behalf of the management and staff of Focus on Liberia, many thanks to our listeners and viewers. We urge that you keep following us and share our videos. My name is Gwendolyn Dorado. I present it.